key to the Automaton, which is a bit bigger than the one I had drawn in the book. I didn't think it would be very comfortable for Isabel to wear that around her neck. So there it is. It's here on the side. It actually has, it requires a lot of force to wind it up. It has two very large, very heavy, very thick mainsprings. And you have to wind them both at the same time. There's a gear that turns both springs when you turn the one crank. So you can I move this a little bit? And we have to wind it up on both sides. Sorry. This one's easier to wind because it only has one spring, and that spring isn't as strong as the other ones. It doesn't need to be, so it was made to be easier to turn. All right, are you ready? There's a lever on this side that you reach in. There are fancy little doors built into the sides of the cabinet through which you wind the machine and start and stop the machine. The machine will stop itself if everything's working correctly. So I have to lift the lever a fraction of an inch and hold it for a couple of seconds, and then he'll do the rest.
Annie, which drawing is he doing?
I'm going to let him do it and have everybody discover that for themselves.
Okay.
This is shooting the lights up a little bit. Is it possible to get more light? Will that help the video? Well, the programming is in a particular order, but you can, the operator can decide which one they want them to do. Is it possible to bring the room lighting down a little bit?
You want down?
I thought that might help to get more light on. Oh, I see. I see. So if we lose room light, we lose our. Yeah. Then we have something to look at it from over the shoulder. Do you want to keep it there? Yeah, over the shoulder is harder to see without stand blocks. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. That'll help. And if you can't figure out what he's drawing, let me know. Yeah, everything is animated. Yes, eyes are following. The eyeballs roll up and down. And it's a subtle movement there. Yeah, we'll see what it is. Sure. See his left hand moving. What's that? The original instrument was a pen of some type.
And it had an inkwell, and we dipped it into the inkwell and pulled it back out.
In the course, Brian was here the first day that we began to take him apart. And one of the wonderful discoveries that we made at that time was the original pen, which nobody knew about. When he was rebuilt in 1932, I suspect that the technician here who did the work, give me a moment. I suspect that the technician here who did the work made this marvelous discovery. There wasn't any documentation about it. And he discovered, had to have discovered, the original brass pen holder with a fleur-de-lis pattern worked into it like a jeweler would do on a ring. And having made that discovery, I suspect recognized how rare and valuable and easily lost it could be again, and he secreted it away in a hidden compartment in the framework of the cabinet where it lay undiscovered until last April.
And I have to say that when that was discovered, because we had Andy and Charles, we had to figure out how to get the top off. And when that finally came off, that's where this object was. But what it looked like doesn't look like a pen. It was just a tube about this long with, oh, look at that. And that's when it moves over to the next set of cams, right? The next set of wheels.
Right. It has two motors.
And this object was about this long. It was covered in the fleur-de-lis pattern. And at first, none of us knew what it was. But I think it was you who noticed that because it was covered with engravings, that it must have been something seen and not hidden inside the machine the way it was hidden. And then I believe Charles had it in his hand and looked at it, and then we looked at the original holder here, and he made the connection that it fit in perfectly and that it was the original pen. And I can tell you, standing there as an observer, it was extremely thrilling. And just look at all of the detail. I mean, you'll be able to come up and we're going to either pass these around or we'll have them. I think this is what there's a copy of up on the stage, so you can all go home with a copy of this. I'm glad it happens to be drawing the one that there's a copy of. But all of the detail in the back of the ship, all the little cannon windows, all the rigging, the waves of the water, it's a stunning mechanical achievement.
If you look closely at your drawing of this, you'll see that there are even tiny little men on deck. It's really a remarkable detail. Who doesn't have